Welcome to the Amazingly Alcohol-Free Mother and Daughter podcast. I'm Jaime.
And I'm Jules.
And we're here to share our honest and unfiltered experience of how alcohol has impacted both of our lives and our relationship, and to show you that change is absolutely possible. Our whole lives, my mom, Jules, has always said, we can do anything because we're girls. And now we're not just saying it, we're actually living it every single freaking day. We believe in progress over perfection, and we are proof that we can do hard and often uncomfortable things. Hey, Jules, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're rocking the sunglasses and the gloves. I like it. Just recording your pod outside, huh?
Well, it's 25 degrees here but it's sunny. So, yeah, I just
Ooh,
wanted to be outside.
ooh, there's something about that. It really just like wakes you up a little bit, gives you a little more energy. Good. I like it. I like it.
Yes, it's actually gives me much more energy than the heat when it's
I
now 3.
Right. I've been actually just in the morning poking my head outside and just taking some deep breaths, and it feels really good in the morning. It's like cold therapy, and it really does help with your nervous system regulation. So it is so easy. So I love that you're doing that. I am inside, but I'm excited to do this podcast today. So this is our 7th episode, Jules. Can you believe it? 7?
No, I can't believe we did the first one and we're still doing them.
I know, I know, I know. So I'm excited about this topic. So today I wanted to share something really cool that happened to us in the Confidence Club this week. Does that sound good? And then we can go through and talk, chatty
Sounds
chat.
great.
All right. So, as most of you guys probably know, Jules and I are in my community called the Confidence Club. So, we're just a group of women that want to live our best lives alcohol free with 5 daily sparkle habits. But also, we do really fun events like book clubs. So, our January book club was the Sober Shift with Suzanne Warye. So, I don't know if you guys know her, but she is the host of Sober Mom Life podcast. And she also is one of the biggest, like, original sober influencers on Instagram. And she's outstanding. And she also has her own community. And so we had Suzanne join our book club on Monday, and she was awesome. Jules, what do you think about Suzanne? Was she awesome?
She is absolutely fantastic. I am such a private person, but
Yeah.
within 3 minutes I felt like I could just tell her anything and,
Yes.
I wouldn't be judged. She's just so down to earth and real.
Yes.
I just love her.
Yeah. And she makes you feel like you're okay. Like anything that we have, shame, guilt, like secrets, whatever, like you're okay, and like there's nothing wrong with you. And she has just a way of when she like answered questions, or kind of she shared her like 6 kind of it was actually her 6-year soberversary on Monday too, which was really cool that she actually took the time on a Monday night to meet with us on her 6-year soberversary. But she also shared like 6 of her like kind of really huge insights that she's had over the years. But when she talked about everything, she just made you feel like okay. And it was really cool. But I absolutely love Suzanne. And I've shared this a lot. But when I went on my sober journey, I've been alcohol free over 3.5 years. And I ended up stumbling upon Sober Instagram, and Suzanne's account is the one that I started following. I think a girlfriend of mine was following it, and I saw it. And that is when, and I was starting to have that like feeling like something's off, like I'm drinking too much. I need to take a break, but like I still wanted to drink. It was, the gymnastics of it all. But I found her account and started following that, and then started learning like, oh my God, there's like other women out there like me. Like I had no idea, because I was just always keeping this to myself. Like how much I was drinking, how much I like to drink, how it was just kind of what I was looking forward to a lot of the times during the week. And also just started to feel really shitty. Like, I was 40, starting not to feel good anymore. And I just wanted to start focusing on my health. But I found her, and then I started listening to her Sober Mom Life podcast. And that's really what got me through my first 30 days. And then I ended up joining her Facebook community. So that was really my first community. So she was instrumental. And I honestly, if I did not find her, I don't think I would have kept going. And another thing too, it's like I didn't have a coach or anything when I started, or like a community like we have with the Confidence Club. I did have the Facebook, but it was a little bit different, like no meetings or anything like that. But I would just scroll like her Instagram for inspiration when I was having a craving, when I was about to like just like about to say F it, like because the first 30 days were not easy for me. And so I really owe, I would say, like a lot of my alcohol free journey to her. So it was really cool to have her full circle come to the group. So I was just really excited to have her.
I can see why, because she's wonderful.
Yeah,
She's gone so far in her journey,
I
um,
know.
that it's amazing, really.
Yeah, and
And
her
then look
books
at you. You're
I
following
know,
the right
right?
person at the beginning.
Right? And I think it's all meant to be, like and also on this journey, like, I do believe everything happens for a reason, and I think, like, I just stumbled upon her, and I have that same with some of the members in our group that are like, "I just saw you on Instagram," and, like, I just felt like I had to reach out, and it's just, like, really special. So, I was really excited, but and the group was, like, pumped. We had such a good turnout for the book club. It was amazing, and we just all felt really energized after. But Suzanne's book is great, by the way. I honestly think it's like a coaching book for the most part, but she talks about all these different shifts in the book. So I highly recommend this book. She also does a lot of the analogies in the book too. And then also there's like stories from members of her sober, I think it's Sober Mom Cafe, might have that name wrong. And it's just really, really cool. But she shared this analogy with us, which I thought was super powerful. So I wanted to share with on the podcast and then kind of talk about it a little bit. And so this, like, completely resonated with the group, and it was just, like, this aha moment, and so she has this analogy, which is the mold in the basement. So this is all from Suzanne. It's probably paraphrased a little just because I had to, like, kind of piece it together from the Zoom call. But Suzanne said that when we don't talk about our relationship with alcohol, it's like having mold in the basement of our house. You can still invite people over. You can still look fine on the outside, but it's like you can come over, but you're not going downstairs. And over time, that basement becomes this place where we shove everything we don't want to look at. The nights we didn't mean to get drunk, but we did. The things we said that we never remember. The shame, the guilt, the what's wrong with me thoughts. The fear that if anyone really knew, they would judge us. So we keep stuffing it down. We avoid it. And we don't even want to go down there ourselves. But when you're in a safe community, something really powerful happens. Someone says, I've got stuff in my basement too, and suddenly you're not alone in it. Suzanne described it like someone helps you hold the flashlight. You look in the corners together, you say the scary thing out loud, and the healing moment is when nobody's jaw hits the floor, nobody is shocked by what you said. You start seeing those nodding heads and you hear me too. That's when the shame starts to loosen its grip because you realize you are not your basement and you're a good woman who got stuck in something that was never meant to be carried alone. Isn't that so good?
It's great.
I love it so much. So
I could relate
when
to that
she
so
it's
much.
and it's just like and the way she talks about these analogies, I'm not great at analogies, but I want to get to these. It's just like, whoa, it just makes such perfect sense. And that is really like the power of community and really being able to be honest and vulnerable about what's going on. It is very hard, right? So when we see women that come into the community or like the group programs, it's scary to share, right? And you don't feel comfortable, but when that moment comes when they finally like speak up and share some of their truths, it's just like, oh, you're just so proud of them. So Jules, so when you heard the mold in the basement analogy from Suzanne, like what did it bring up for you?
Uh, I have so much mold in the basement, things that I've stuffed down there for almost my whole life. And I don't know why it happened exactly, but um, I definitely felt myself unpacking some of that stuff and bringing it to the surface, bringing it upstairs, and actually sharing some of the most horrendous times in my life with your group and you. And it just felt so good to get that off my mind. I'm almost 70, so I don't know how much time I have left, but this is the first time I've really opened up about, anything like that ever, really.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like me and you never talked about any of these things. Like anytime like something situation would happen with like your drinking, we would just like shove it under the rug, right? We just like wouldn't
Yeah.
talk about it. So when you joined my community, and I know you did it more of support, but then you started like opening up in like meetings in front of me. I was like, I've never once had a conversation with you that was so honest before about this stuff. It was like mind blowing for me. And specifically because you've always said you're a very private person. You're not one to like hang out with big groups of women, specifically ones that we find on the internet, which is insane, by the way. I never thought I would be this person doing any of this, but it was just so powerful. So did you feel like it was just finally like Was it hearing other women that have similar kind of experiences or struggles, or what was it for you?
I think it was just being safe. I just felt safe and comfortable, and
Yeah,
things just started to spill out
yeah,
in the groups. And then when I can text, the people too, and people relate to you. And
yeah.
instead of thinking you're, crazy or you're doing all this crazy stuff, they just relate to you. And it's this no judging. I don't feel, you know, bad about myself. In fact,
Yeah.
I feel the more I unpack, the better I feel.
Love
And
it.
and with this group, I just felt like I'm free to say whatever I need to say.
Yeah. Mm.
So I've never had that experience before.
It's so
Kind of
great.
isolate myself. I'd never say the things I've been talking about are amazing to me. I can't believe it. But
Yeah.
after listening to Suzanne
Yeah.
at the book club
Yeah.
meeting, I felt like she was talking to me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think other people felt like they were talking to them too. She was talking to them
Yeah.
too. I thought, "Wow, what's going on?" She
Yeah.
reading my mind or something, because
Yeah.
I've started to do all those things with the unpacking, even
Yeah.
like I said, the worst things in my life, and
Yeah.
I just don't have a problem with it, with this
Oh,
group. Amazing,
yeah. I know. And
life changing.
it's crazy. Yeah, because like, when I started sharing, it took me well, actually, I went on Suzanne's podcast, like, 3 months into my alcohol-free journey, which honestly, I have no idea why I did that. I think I just was so happy I found her, and I was feeling like just like I had found this like new kind of secret to life. It was still hard a few months in, but I was just like in it and I just shared. And then ever since then, I just continued to share my story. And I think a lot of it was hearing other women be like, thank you for sharing. Like, you're making me feel not alone. Like, I so relate to all of what you're saying. And you're like, whoa. And it's that ripple effect, right? And it feels really good to help people, and that's why we're doing this podcast. We're like, if we help one person, that's, like, all we wanna do. But but it's been, like, completely therapeutic for me, and honestly, like, clearly we have no we're sharing everything on this podcast. I mean, there's some things we will not talk about because, we have some things that we just don't wanna share out there, but we're being really open and vulnerable, and I think for me, it's like I just want people to relate, and I just wanna help people as best I can and let them know, like, their shit, like, it's okay. Like, we all have our shit, and we all, like, have our stories, but it does not define who we are. And I think the key is really to, like, find that community or that space where you can, like, share what's up going on in your basement, right? And get, like, rid of that mold. And a lot of it too, it's like when you find this community or whoever it may be that you're able to start feeling like, where you could open up, it really just kind of translates into you just kind of letting that go, that shame and guilt, but also just starting to, like, treat yourself with kindness and, like, more self-love. And just like and as Suzanne said, it's like, talk to that, like, 14-year-old girl, you know? But I think for me, like, and you, Jules, like, do you feel like this opening up has made you just learn to kind of just be more compassionate with yourself and just love yourself more?
Oh, definitely. I've spent so many years just like isolating myself and, doing the drinking and the pills and that, and just isolated myself so nobody would know and try to keep it together and never unpacked anything, never talked about
Yeah.
anything. But it gets to be a very lonely existence. And sometimes that even makes you, I think, drink more, do things, even more extreme than you would. And this
Mhm.
just changed my life, really. I'm just, all of a sudden, something will just come up, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and say what I have to say.
Yeah.
And like I said, nobody judges or makes you feel
Yeah.
bad about yourself. And I'm being
Yeah.
more confident, feeling more confident, I think, now than I've ever been in my life in the
Yes.
past year. So
Yeah.
it's been huge for me.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. I'm so proud of you and like how far you've come and you're just like sharing all this stuff, obviously with the world here. Obviously on this
Yeah.
podcast, but then with the Women in the Confidence Club. And also you're like, you're taking care of yourself. You're having boundaries now. You're just like you've grown so much in the last year. It's incredible to see. So I just hope you can like celebrate yourself and just know how freaking amazing you're doing because you're amazingly alcohol free. Fools.
That's right. You are too, and I'm proud of you too. I'm done.
Thank you. So I think the lesson in today's episode is you are not your basement, right? And so there is a lot of power and safety in a community. It is not easy. It can be really scary to do so, but find someone that will help you hold your flashlight, right? Explore different communities. There's tons of communities out there. If you want to join the Confidence Club, we would love to have you. Send us a note. We'd love to talk with you. But just try to find someone that can help you hold that flashlight. And if you're not ready for it, that's okay. But we just wanted to plant that seed with you and anybody listening here, okay? And, you know, a lot of us just we didn't have the tools that we needed. We were always told, to be strong, not to share really how we're feeling. And then over the years we just hold it all in. And so it just feels there's so much freedom in just releasing it all.
There really is. I found that the
Yeah.
more I isolated myself,
Yeah.
the deeper I would bury, you
Yeah.
know, my feelings and emotions and everything I've done in the past, and
Yeah.
just deeper and deeper and deeper. Pretty soon, you don't think you're going to ever be able to dig yourself out of that stuff because it's
Yes.
just so awful. It's so yeah, it's been amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought she was talking to me. We should be
Right.
talking about the basement analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I love your shovel digging deeper analogy, Jules, because you're true. You're just like burying yourself in like all this shame and this guilt and then you just pile it on and on and on and you get deeper and deeper and it just gets harder and harder to find your way out. So,
definitely.
yes. So, I hope this resonates with anybody listening. Please reach out to Jules and myself if you guys ever need anything. We're here for you. There's also freebies and a newsletter link in the show notes if you want to get some inspiration and tips and tricks to live your best life alcohol free. But thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.